my name is Rick Jenkins, and I'm here today on behalf of the Columbia Regional Business Report. As I'm sure you know, the Business Report is part of the SCBIZ News family, which serves high-level business executives throughout South Carolina. I work at a sister publication over in the upstate, GSA Business Report, but I'm in Columbia today and excited to welcome you to our annual Icons and Phenoms Award Show. Today, we'll be honoring two groups of people making an impact in the Midlands: Icons, the community pillars who have established standards of business and civic excellence, and Phenoms, the up-and-coming go-getters who are changing the landscape. This is the second year we've held this event in Columbia, but it's the first time we've presented it virtually. I realize we would all love to be able to get together and spend some time for this special event, but unfortunately, we just can't do that right now. So given the current state of affairs, our company's social distancing protocol, and just the general uncertainty of the COVID-19 pandemic, we decided to bring this event to you today in the form of what basically amounts to a TV show, and I think you're going to like it. In just a moment, you'll see a series of short interviews with all 26 of our honorees, so you'll get to spend a couple minutes with each icon and each phenom. But before we go any further, I'd like to recognize our sponsors for today's show. The presenting sponsor of this year's Icons and Phenoms virtual event is Nephron Pharmaceuticals Corporation. Based in West Columbia, Nephron Pharmaceuticals develops and produces safe, affordable, generic inhalation solutions and suspension products, including those used to treat severe respiratory distress symptoms associated with COVID-19. The company employs nearly 2,000 people and produces 1 billion doses of life-saving medication every year for patients throughout the country. Nephron CEO Lou Kennedy will be assisting us today. She'll be helping us interview our honorees, but more about Lou in a couple minutes. I'd also like to recognize the DOUBLETREE by Hilton Columbia as a sponsor of today's event as well. The DOUBLETREE, which just underwent a multi-million-dollar renovation, is located just minutes from downtown Columbia. I've been in the hotel. It looks absolutely gorgeous. The DOUBLETREE has the largest hotel ballroom in Columbia, which occupies 10,400 square feet and seats 800 people. The hotel has a total of 22,000 square feet of meeting and event space. As a matter of fact, SCBIZ, we hold our annual Roaring Twenties event there every year. That's the event where we honor the state's fastest growing companies. Of course, this year, that event will also be presented virtually. Let's watch a short video about the hotel, and then we'll hear from Rick Lackland, the Director of Sales and Marketing at the hotel.
Thanks, Rick. Hello, I'm Rick Lackland, Director of Sales and Marketing at the DOUBLETREE Hotel and Conference Center here in Columbia, South Carolina. We're thrilled to partner again with South Carolina Biz News for their annual Icons and Phenoms Awards. Here you are in Columbia's hotel's largest ballroom, 10,400 square feet. It's home of the Shrimp and Grits. It's home of the Taste of Lake Murray, the Irmo Gala, the Chapin Gala, the Lexington Cotillion, the Casey West Columbia Gala, and many others. So when you're thinking about having your next meeting safely, think of the DOUBLETREE Hotel and Conference Center.
Is always open, you can come morning. When you're in my neighborhood, baby, you'll never be alone again. Take it away, Jack.
Back to you, Rick.
Thank you, Rick. Our third sponsor is Clark & Company. For 20 years, Clark & Company has been helping clients navigate the ever-changing landscape of South Carolina employee benefits. While their main trade is employee benefits, they solve human problems while efficiently streamlining processes. Their mission is simple: to empower clients to go above the rest so they can achieve success with their business and industry. One last thing. Registration proceeds from our show today will be donated to the Central Carolina Community Foundation. Founded in 1984, the foundation connects philanthropic organizations in 11 Midlands counties. Its Midlands Community Response Fund provides resources to nonprofits in the region working with senior citizens, health-compromised individuals, part-time or seasonal workers, and those who are housing insecure. Once again, thank you to all of our sponsors. We certainly could not produce an event like this without their support. Okay, it's almost time to get to the big show, but first, let's watch this message from our partner, the Lexington Medical Center. And when we return, we'll be ready to introduce you to all of our honorees.
Protect your family, your friends, your neighbors, the people who care for you. Save a life. Wear a mask.
As I mentioned earlier, Lou Kennedy, the CEO at Nephron Pharmaceuticals, will be assisting us today with interviewing our honorees. Lou has been a fixture in South Carolina's business community for many years. I'm sure all of you know her. Recently, Governor Henry McMaster appointed Lou to accelerate SC, the state's coordinated COVID-19 advisory and recovery team. She's also won Ernst & Young's Entrepreneur of the Year Award and the Outstanding Leadership Award from the National Association of Manufacturers. Actually, she's won so many awards and been recognized so many times that we just don't have time to talk about them all. Fittingly enough, Lou will be talking to the icons in our event today. And Mark Wright, the Director of Business Development for SCBIZ, will spend some time with the Phenoms. All right, let's get this show started. We're off.
Thanks, Rick, and thank you, DoubleTree Hotel, for providing excellent space for these interviews. As you said, Lou Kennedy, Melinda Waldrop, and I will be presenting the awards to these honorees. And to start us off, I'm here with Amelia Hough-Ross, Deputy Chief Technology Officer at Companion Data Services. Congratulations on being a Phenom winner this year.
Thank you.
So how do you feel about attracting more women to the technology field, and how can that happen?
Well, that's a great question. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for women to be highlighted more for the technology roles that they already have. And I think there's a lot that can be done at different educational levels to highlight that this is a field available to women. I know when I was in high school, I didn't really think much about being in technology like I am today. And so exposure to that at an early age and at early educational levels, I think will really help. And then I think allowing women to develop that aptitude for technology and then helping them through the path is something that we can all do to just make it available to them and not make them feel like it's not a good idea.
How did you end up where you're at?
So I always did well in school, but I was going to be a ballerina. I was going to be a professional ballerina. I trained from the age of 3, and I was too tall. One of these wonderful things about being really tall, you don't fit the costumes, and if you're too tall, you don't fit the corps de ballet. And so when I was 16, I had to start working through that realization that wasn't going to happen for me. And I was still doing really well in school, and I thought I would be an engineer because I really wanted to blend more of my arts with technology, recent technology focus. So I thought I would do special effects for film and got really into computer animation. And that's really what put me onto the technology path that I've been on since. So it's just a very interesting way that through my interest in blending art with technology, I found that I wound up more on the tech side.
Interesting.
Yeah, very funny.
Thanks for coming in. I want to congratulate Amelia Hough-Ross for coming in and being a 2020 Phenom honoree. Thank you.
I've lived my life on Main Street at the intersection of public policy, politics, business, and community development. And I've done that because I believe that it takes in South Carolina a strong public-private partnership to get things done. And by living in that intersection, I've been able to connect people and organizations together to help get those things done. I can hear my mother laughing right now, even though it's been 20 years since she passed away. You have to understand, I grew up in a blue-collar house, a blue-collar family where all of my mother and all of my dad's brothers and sisters all worked with their hands. And my older brother and I were the first 2 college graduates in our extended family. And my mother couldn't understand why I would have worked so hard to help pay my way through college and then with just 9 hours left go to work on a political campaign. But you have to really think back then in 1974, this was in the middle of Watergate. And nobody thought much of politicians. Nobody thought much of political campaigns. And they didn't think much of PR people. So my mother just couldn't understand that. But much of what I've done over the last 20 years since she's passed away, I'm sure she's been watching me, and everything that she and my dad instilled in me as a youngster have helped me get to where I am today.
Our next winner, Frank Cason, president of Cason Development Group. Congratulations for being a 2020 Phenom winner. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
So you talk often about your dad, Louis. Tell us how his influences built you as a business person.
In a lot of ways. First of all, my dad's faith and his walk with Jesus has led me in so many ways beyond what I could explain. Second, my dad started his own company, the Cason Group, which is different from Cason Development Group. They're in the insurance business. When I was about 10 years old, when he got let go from another company. And my dad is not someone you would call the typical entrepreneur. He's not scatterbrained. He's not all about the brand new, flashy idea. But he is the best executor I've ever met. And he had a plan, and the Lord has really, really blessed what he has done and the work that he's done. And so I got to watch all that. I got to watch the difficulties with that and the struggles with that growing up, and how hard he worked as well. And in his mind, starting your own business was not that big of a deal when I became, in my 20s or so. And so he was kind of pushing, not in a hard way, but the idea that you should go out on your own at some point. But it seemed a lot harder to me. So seeing him do what he did and the consistency with which he treats people and worked and grew the business was very powerful for me in growing business. And I wanted what he had or had created, and I didn't know what that meant, and I didn't really want to be in insurance. So it took a while, and before we started Cason Development Group almost 6 years ago.
That's great. So your love of food and eating, I'm right there with you. Tell me a favorite recipe that you have, or a favorite thing to cook, or something that you want to share with folks.
So I love entertaining, and I don't have one favorite dish. I love when someone says, I would like for you to make this, and I like to try to create that for them and have it be the best experience they've ever had with that dish, whether it's steak or some fancy dish they had at some restaurant. I love the concept of trying to recreate stuff that I saw elsewhere. I'm not great with recipes. I don't follow recipes. That's probably somewhat true in my business life as well. It's just easier for me to see a concept and then take it the direction that I want to take it. So we just my wife and I both love to have people over and love to cook for them. Even
in today's climate?
Well, I probably can't say much about that. No.
Right.
Yes, even in today's climate.
Right. I want to thank Frank for coming in. Really appreciate it. And before you leave, not only did you win the Phenom Award, but we have an extra one here for you. So wait, there's more. We want to also congratulate you on winning the Innovator Award for the things that you're doing in the community and with your business. And we wanted to recognize you as an innovator for 2020 as well. So congratulations.
Wow, thank you. That's an honor. I appreciate that.
You bet.
That means a lot.
I want to thank Frank for coming in, congratulating him on 2 awards, and 2020 Phenom and the Innovator Award. Thanks, Frank.
Congratulations, Nate Spells. You are our next 2020 recipient of the Icon Award here in the Midlands of South Carolina. Very proud of you. Glad to know you.
Thank you. I'm very excited about that.
So it says here in your bio that you're the founder, president, and CEO of Construction Dynamics. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay. Construction Dynamics is a commercial construction firm headquartered here in Columbia, South Carolina. I started the company back in 1987 on a part-time basis and 1993 on a full-time basis. I have a degree from Clemson University in construction management. I was the first African-American to get that degree, so I worked with a number of prominent firms with the goal of ultimately owning my own company.
Well, you've done a fantastic job, and I see, too, you've had a lot of these kinds of first in this and first in that. You've been a real trailblazer. Could you talk to me about maybe another one of those firsts? First in construction management, first to start your own company. Is there another first out there we haven't heard about?
Well, just about every job I've held, I've been the first in that position. I'm 70 years old now, so you can get my age.
You clearly don't look 70. You look fantastic.
Thank you.
And especially because you're in a winner today, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, could you tell me what is the very best lesson you learned growing up in beautiful Bowman?
Okay, well, I was born in Bowman, but I moved to Columbia when I was 4 years old.
Okay.
But I would visit there during the summer to see my grandparents and all. But Bowman and my parents taught me the importance of a strong work ethic. I talked to my mother about a year ago, and I said, Mom, I don't really remember much of a childhood because I was working as long as I could remember. Even in elementary school, I had a paper route. I raked leaves. My mother was a domestic. She was in the house working for other people. I was outside. I also worked at a grocery store, worked in a restaurant, and when I went to Clemson, I worked in the dining hall there. And when I graduated, of course, I went to get a job, another job. So I've been working all my life and what have you. So that's the thing I emphasize to everybody. This is a great country, a great opportunity if you're willing to work hard enough.
I got to tell you, we have that in common. I started in produce at 9. We sold vegetables out of my own garden.
Okay, all right.
So anyway, I've been working my whole life too. Maybe that's something that's awesome to share. Anyway, we have to say congratulations on being the winner of this awesome Icon Award. Nate, it's great to make your acquaintance. And again, congratulations.
Hey, thank you so much.
I am honored to be a 2020 Phenom this year. Thank you so much. The goal of SC for Ed is to put an extraordinary teacher in every classroom in South Carolina. We work on that through competitive pay and benefits for teachers, improving working conditions, and funding for South Carolina schools. We also encourage teachers to find their voice and advocate on behalf of themselves and their profession. I teach high school students, and so one of the best things about teaching high school teenager or teaching teenagers is that you can see the aha moments with them, and you can really see growth throughout their high school career and even in the classroom. And it's so fun to see that moment that a student gets it and connects, and that is so rewarding. One of the negative aspects of teaching teenagers is that they're teenagers and, they're too cool for school a lot of the times. But every once in a while, you just get that moment with them, and it is worth every penny of it. Thank you.
Congratulations to my friend Sharon Bryant, the winner of 2020 Icon Award right here in the Midlands. I'm very proud of you, and I'm proud to be your friend. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to be selected for such a wonderful position here as an icon. It does make me remember and remind myself of how many years I have actually been in business. But it's a very pleasant reminder, and I appreciate the opportunity.
We know that you're let me get it correct, the Regional Executive Vice President at First Citizens Bank, and you are surrounded by great colleagues, also friends of both of ours, and so forth. But I'd like to go to a different question, not about business. Your community involvement is quite extensive, and I know that because we do some of these things together. But I would like for you to say, give us some insight into how does your work with the Girl Scouts or Junior League, how does that parlay over into your banking career? Like, how do those two worlds collide?
Well, I wouldn't say that they collide. I would say that they definitely complement, one another because, I started with community service because my father was extraordinarily involved. So, I mean, you see the example in your family, and he always said, to whom much is given, much is expected. So, being a part of the community is a natural thing and something that I love dearly. Now, how does that parlay into banking? Well, gosh, when you hang out with people, you make decisions, you run organizations, you ask them for some business too. And people want to do business with people that they know and they trust. And so, quite frankly, it's a natural complement. It's a lot of fun, and I expect my friends to bank with me. So,
well, we have a lot of chances to be together, and I am always so in awe of all the many things that you do and all of the things you're involved in. And I feel like you and I do tend to run in somewhat of the same circles in that regard. I would be curious for you to talk to me a little bit more about all the work that you do with some of the younger females in banking that work around you. I know that you work with Aaron and other friends. And talk to me a little bit about your roles often as a mentor.
Well, quite frankly, I graduated from Sewanee, and I was an English major with a religion minor, so I always said I could write about it and pray about it. And you can translate that into any type of business. But when I stop, I look at what really gives me joy, and it's watching other people succeed. And of course, when I first got into business, it was, I was an individual producer, and I was driven, and I always wanted to be number one on the leaderboard. I mean, it was like, get out of my way. And then you hit a point in your life where you kind of say, okay, where do you get the fulfillment? Is it doing it yourself, or is it doing it through other people and watching other people grow? So that's when I kind of made the shift into management, and I realized immediately that being a mentor and being someone that was safe for particularly women to come and talk to, because, I mean, let's face it, this is South Carolina, and if you look at banking in the state of South Carolina, it was pretty much all men for many, many, many years. So sometimes you just need that safe spot and that coach and that confidant that you can sit down and talk to and say, how did you do it? Or what do you think? Or this is what I'm thinking. And I always like people to recognize the situation and then come to me with a solution that they have thought of and they have crafted. And then we sit down and we kind of talk about the pros and the cons and what we could do differently. But that's what gives me joy. So I love being a mentor to females.
Well, it's obvious to all of us. We see that in your work. We see it even in the role you've been playing with your son. I mean, he's involved in the community too. So you've always set a good example, which is a nice segue. I don't think you knew this, but you're also winning a second award, and that as a mentor to others. So you are going to be winning the Mentor Award. And I'm so happy that you shared with us some of the reasons that is important to you, because we see it as your role in our community and what you do for others around you. And I know how much you mean to them. And so we were delighted to be able to choose you as the winner of the Mentor Award in addition to the Icon Award. It's a 2-for-1 kind of day.
All right. Well, I'm not easily surprised, but you just did it.
Great.
So again, thank you so very much. That is wonderful.
Okay. Now this was a fun fact I did not know. It turns out you sang in a band in college. What kind of music? Did you have a lot of gigs? Give us the scoop on this whole band thing.
Well, you have to understand, if you know anything about the University of the South at Sewanee, it's a very small liberal arts school on the top of a mountain. So you don't have a large city like, Columbia, Atlanta, New York to go and play. So you make your own play. And we had this little pub called Shenanigans. And so there was about 6 of us that got together and thought that we were just the greatest musicians ever. And of course, they let me be the lead singer. So, my gigs were just, just about every weekend or two. And, then I would go and sing and play. But most of my real singing was in theater. So I did a lot of theater growing up. I didn't make the cheerleading squad. I tripped over myself and they were like, you're not good enough for that. So, I mean, the whole nother story about trophies. But anyway, so I said, okay, where can you find your fulfillment? And mine was in singing and acting and dancing and just having a grand old time. And actually, it comes in quite handy in work and
agree.
family, too. You got to have fun.
I love it. Well, I want to say congratulations again for not only one award, the Icon Award, but also this Mentor Award. And I know that there are so many people that benefit from your leadership. I love working with you and around you. So let's just end it on this note and say congratulations, Sharon. I'm proud to call you a friend, and thank you so much for all that you do.
Well, the feeling is absolutely mutual. I just love you to pieces. So thank you, and thank you for being the one to interview me today and really touching my soul with the Mentor Award. Thank you very much.
Cool.
Up next, David McNeese, Director of Structural Engineering at Stevens & Wilkinson. Congratulations on winning a Phenom Award this year for 2020.
Thank you, sir.
Well done. So tell me, what is the most satisfying part of watching the things you design come to life?
Well, you just mentioned it. I get to see things come to life. I live around this area, and a lot of my projects are in this area or close to it. So we not only get to see a structure come up or a building, but it's also you get to see how the public uses that facility, interacts with it. People that you know get to go there. They work there. They live there. They go to school there. It's a very satisfying part of my job.
I could understand that. Switching gears just a little bit, coaching youth sports. I've done it. You're doing it. Tell me how that fun, if you will, translates into your work, into your life.
Well, it's fun and frustrating all at the same time. I mean, it's great working with these kids, but then also my company does a decent amount of school work. So not only do I work with the kids, but we work on the facilities that these kids go to school in, or we see these other kind of aspects. And a lot of the parents are teachers. It helps also ground my feeling of that my work not is just something that I just do, but it's also truly a part of the community. And so, you know, it's just kind of one of those things where it seems to tie things together. But yeah, coaching the youth sports is a fun part of my life, but it's frustrating.
I can understand the frustrating part. Trust me, been there. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to thank David for coming in. Congratulations again on winning the Phenom Award for 2020.
Congratulations, Tommy. Tommy Suggs, my friend, is the next recipient of this year's 2020 Icon Award. I'm so happy to be able to present that to you today, Tommy.
Thank you very much. I'm honored to receive that. I'm honored that you're here asking me questions, too. That's kind of fun.
It is fun. I love it. Okay, so I am proud to serve with you on a lot of different things around the Midlands, and we have a lot of things going, but I would be remiss, since I am cock-a-doodle-loo, if I didn't ask you about maybe something special that stands out over the years as your voice of the Gamecocks role. Tell us a little bit about something we may not know.
Well, there's a lot that I can't tell. But we've had a lot of fun over the years. I've been fortunate enough to do it for 47 years with Bob Fulton a long time, Charlie McAlexander, and of course Todd Ellis now, and all three were different. And it helped me understand that they are the guys, and I have to back them up. And I've enjoyed doing that. I've been some great venues all over the country. I've seen George Rogers, Marcus Allen, Ronnie Lott all play at the same time. It's just been a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed being close to the university football program, but not too close. So I've been very fortunate to have been chosen and been able to still stick with it that long.
Well, I know that we all find it, having listened to you for so many years, when I'm in a meeting with you, I have to turn that button off and say, this isn't the announcer, this is my friend talking. So your voice is so recognizable. I have to try and remind myself that we're okay to be friends and have a conversation. You're not calling plays or doing color or anything like that.
You know, I've never realized my voice is unique, but only in the last year or two, maybe 4 or 5 years, I had been in line at places, and all of a sudden someone would turn around and they'd say, I recognize your voice. Who are you? And I'd say, you're kidding me. You got to be joking. And but obviously on radio they don't see me, which of course I have a radio face. But it's amazing how people do recognize my voice now. For some reason, I guess 47 years you're going to do it, I guess.
We all know it. All right. So I need to point out that you are the president and CEO of Hub Carolinas, and we are proud that you take good care of us and our company. I would like to, you've been in business a long time and in banking. Can you tell me a little bit about the biggest money mistake that people might make, something they might avoid, Tommy?
You know, that's a good question. I think a lot of times it's getting wrapped up in what's new and not doing research and not understanding the downside risk. I've always been considered in many cases to be not only thrifty, but also somewhat reserved and taking a while to make some decisions. But my thought process has always been, okay, if I invest this or do this, what is my downside risk? And I think some people jump on a new idea and just jump in it because they feel like they want to get ahead of everyone else, but they don't understand the downside risk of it, what all it entails to get it done. And therefore, they put money in it, they put time in it, they put energy in it, and therefore they get out there and go, oh my gosh, what did I do now? Or what do I do now? So I've always been a little reserved, a little hesitant. Maybe I've missed some opportunities, but overall, I don't think I've made a lot of mistakes.
Always the great quarterback.
Well, I don't know about that, but I do think that in this time, specifically from a standpoint of building a team, no matter what you're in, banking, insurance, drugs, or whatever, you got to have a team around you. And I think for years in this country and in business, it's been professionally focused. I mean, you got to have a vision, you got to have values, you got to have a mission, you got to have all those things. You got to make strategic decisions. That's all good. But I think now more than ever before, you got to care about the person personally. And that is huge. And so in my idea is I think unless I show, I've got to show my people I care about them personally. I've always done that, but now more than ever before because there's so much coming at them. And once you do that and combine the personal side with the professional side, it works.
Winning combination.
Good culture. You got to have a good culture.
Okay, I have something very special to tell you. Not only are you winning this award today, but there are folks that we're pointing out that do just above and beyond, go out of their way. And you are also winning the Community Champion Award for 2020.
Wow.
I was super excited that I got to present that to you. So, extra award.
That's special. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And so you're winning, you're getting a twofer today, Tommy.
A twofer.
We are so excited. Not only are you an icon and truly an icon and a friend, but also a community champion. And I think this is just such a deserving award. You do so much for everyone around you, your family at work, and all of us, your friends. So thank you for everything you do, and a very hearty, heartfelt congratulations.
Thank you very much. I am honored. But both awards, and this one is special because a lot of people don't know that I've been president of our Chamber of Commerce twice, and I led the first effort to raise money for quality job creation and capital investment about the early 80s. And that was a hard thing to do, but I got great leadership involved with it, a lot of commitment, and we did it. We raised over $2.5 million. That was our first effort in this arena.
It's paying off now.
Yeah, to pull together the counties together and forget about the river. And I always used to laugh and say, we need to close that river up, just put dirt in it, bring everybody together. But thank you for that. That's very special to me.
Well, again, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you very much.
Our next honoree, Ashley Wilkerson, children's author and franchise owner of Wine and Design here in Columbia, and honoree of Phenom Award here in Columbia for 2020. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So what's the most fun about writing children's books, and where do the ideas come from?
Yes, I absolutely love children. I've spent my life working with early childhood education and inspiring children to learn and to read. And so I write children's books based on my experiences with my parents who fostered a lifelong learning in me. And I do that in my children's books, and I convey that enthusiasm with everyday subjects with children.
That's great. It's a real important message to get out to the kids. That's great. So, okay, Family Feud.
Yes.
Okay. So you were on Family Feud, and on a side, nobody else knows here, I was in the audience for Family Feud back when Richard Dawson was hosting it.
Wow.
A long time ago when I visited some folks in California. So Tell us about that experience, and do you remember any of the questions or any of the show?
It was so much fun. Steve Harvey is hilarious. My big sister, my husband's oldest sister, she actually submitted the application. We had to go to Atlanta and do an interview, and they said, I love that family. They're so energetic and full of life. And so they wanted us to be on the show. We ended up doing 3 episodes. We won 2 episodes, and we won the money round.
Right.
That's always important to say. And I remember the funniest question that was asked was during a money round. And the question was, name something that comes in pairs. And one of our cousins said ducks. We're still trying to figure out where that answer came from. So that was one of the funniest stories from our experiences, in addition to Steve Harvey just being a great host and a funny guy.
And lifelong memories, too, I'm sure.
Exactly. It was fun for the whole family.
Well, Ashley, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
I want to congratulate Ashley again for winning the Phenom category in the 2020 Phenoms and Icons. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Congratulations to my friend Peter Fawcett for winning a 2020 Icon Award. Congratulations.
Thank you, Lou. Appreciate it.
I think it's very, very well deserved. And we wanted to ask you a couple of questions while we have you here today, and I'll just get started. So, and also I should recognize and let everyone know that you're CEO of the Republic National Distributing Company, but I think most of us all know your day job. Anyway, the beverage distribution industry must look markedly different than it did 40 years ago. What do you see as the biggest changes, and what do you see on the horizon maybe for the future?
Well, the biggest change had to be consolidation of the wholesalers. It's not only in the state of South Carolina and nationally. In 1981, when I moved here, there were about 11 wine distributors and 40 beer wholesalers. Today, there's probably 13 beer wholesalers and 3 big wine and liquor wholesalers, and maybe 20 real small boutique wine wholesalers. So consolidation has been a big
It's like that in our industry too.
Yeah.
Well, I know you have a grandchild.
I
know
do.
that's great, but I'd like for you to tell us a little bit about the grandchild and also this wonderful work you're doing with Camp Cole.
Oh, well, it's a labor of love, Camp Cole. My granddaughter is Lenny, Catherine Valentine's Grants. She's married to, my daughter Margaret Deans is married to Jeff Grants' son, Derek, and they have a almost one-year-old daughter, and she's quite a joy. As you know, I have 6 kids that I can't give back to anybody, but I can give the granddaughter back, so that's helpful. But my daughter and her good friend Kelsey Sawyer Carter are the 2 directors of Camp Cole, which is a camp for all kids and adults with any type of mental or physical problem. It's a camp that will sleep 192 kids and about 50 staff members. And we are breaking ground probably August 1. Mark Hood is the general contractor. Michael Nearing's building 6 cabins. So it's about 50 acres of land out on Highway 378. It's going to be a really great thing for Columbia and South Carolina.
I know we're proud to support. I think it's an awesome, awesome endeavor. Well, I have a surprise for you.
Okay.
You're not only winning the Icon Award, but you're also winning a special award today for entrepreneurship. So an entrepreneur award. And I think it's only fitting given all the work you've done around Camp Cole in addition to your regular work. And we are so proud of what you're doing in both those endeavors. And we wanted to bestow this entrepreneur award. So let me hand it to you.
Oh, my gosh.
And here you have it.
Lou, thank you.
That's great work and a
you.
lot of the good things that you're doing for us in the Midlands. And for that, we just want to say well-deserved and congratulations.
Thank you, Lou.
So our Phenom 2020 award winner is Charlie Griffin. And I'm so proud to say that you are an award recipient, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Is it a very exciting day today? I mean, this is a nice award.
Absolutely. It's an incredibly exciting time.
Okay. Well, we know that you are a banker. Your official title here is Senior Relationship Manager, Vice President of Commercial Banking, Bank of America. And I know you work with some of my friends, and so I can tell that you're surrounded by great people all the time. And I know they're proud for you to win this award as well. Now, I'd like to ask you a question. What's the most important financial advice you could give that might help just about everyone?
Sure. So I think one of the most important things as you're growing up in your career, it's making sure that you're honoring your credit and honoring your name, because it can go a tremendously long way in helping you have a great financial life.
I 100% agree. I spent a lot of years as a single mom where the credit wasn't the best, and it takes a long time to recover from that. So I totally get it. That's great advice. Okay, I understand that you love to travel. What's one of your most favorite places that you like to visit or have visited?
So in literally a couple of hours, we're going to Cullowhee, North Carolina, with my wife Lindsay and our two boys to have a socially distant vacation. So I'm really excited about that.
We're all learning new things during this time, right,
That's
Charlie?
right.
Okay, now, on your bucket list, tell us another place you'd really like to go. If money were no object, where would you like to visit in your travels?
Wow, I think that I would really like to do something in Alaska, maybe for a month or so. I've got a sabbatical coming up here at my 10-year anniversary with the bank, so I think that might be just where I go.
Well, I think with the heat outside right now, that would be a good choice. Well, I want to say thank you for all that you do to move our community forward. Thank you for being a great part of the Midlands. And we, as older community members, are looking forward to your future and what you as leaders will do for us and for our children and grandchildren. So thank you and congratulations again on winning this 2020 Phenom Award. Thanks, Charlie. A hearty congratulations to Karen Jenkins, winner of the 2020 Icon Award. Super great. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here.
So Karen is the president and executive director, or president and CEO of KRJ Consulting, LLC. And you are a business owner and a force to be reckoned with, I understand.
Well, that's what they say.
Well, that's amazing. I want to switch topics, a little more somber topic. You speak freely about how the death of your father and your son's brain aneurysm have served as inspiration. How did you channel those emotions into productivity?
So one of my favorite quotes is from Aristotle, and it says that in our darkest moments, we must focus on the light. And through all of the challenges that I faced, whether it was in 2007 when I got laid off and got me to the entrepreneurship world, to my father falling ill, to my son having a 10 to 15% chance of living, I had to focus on the light. And by focusing on the light, I did not allow the negative thoughts to enter my mind. I channeled my energy to them and also as a distraction worked on trying to salvage the business.
Well, I think it took a tremendous amount of energy, and I'm sure they very much fed off of that energy. So that's really, really important. Now, it says here that you had a difficult time during that Great Recession in 2008. How were you able to rebound? You know, what were those steps? I know you focused on the light, but anything else you want to share with us?
Well, you have to pivot. You know, it's one of those things where you stay grounded in what you're doing to make sure that that's not totally gone away. And then you look around the environment, because for every crisis that we've had, there's always been new opportunities that have arisen. Some things may have gone away. You don't do that anymore. So I always say, even in our current environment, this too shall pass. But you have to, if you're focusing on the positivity and being productive, then you get to see those opportunities. If you're focusing on the negativity, your head is down and you're missing all the opportunities that are coming your way. So what we did was basically look at the opportunities. Where were gaps that we could actually go in and fill?
I guess they say when one door closes, another one opens.
Yes.
And so it seems like you figured out how to find your way and follow that light.
Yes.
And I think it's very fitting then that we honor you with this Icon Award here in 2020. Congratulations very much.
Thank you so much.
It's very deserved. Thank you. Congratulations, Megan.
Thank you.
Phenom Award winner 2020. I'm loving it. Megan Hickman, our new 2020 Phenom Award winner.
Thank
All
you.
right. This is great news. Happy.
Thank you. Thank you. It was such a treat.
Okay. Now, we've been digging around on some of these fun facts that we might know about folks
Just
and
terrifying.
asking questions.
Yeah.
No, don't be terrified. At any rate, tell us about growing up on a farm.
Yeah.
With cattle.
Yeah.
How has that shaped what you do today? How can you align the two things?
Yeah, so it's funny, Lou. It feels like that was a past life now. My husband doesn't even know the me that was the farm girl me. So it's a treasure that was a part of my youth. My dad was a third generation farmer. It was a part of my life for as long as I can remember. And it was the place where some of the values that I draw upon today were instilled in me. And so understanding what it means to put in sweat equity and hard work, understanding what it means to start mornings early and end them after the sun has gone down. Simple pleasures of life like open pastures and riding four-wheelers and fishing and patience, and hard lessons like learning to drive a truck and immediately running it into the trailer, or grabbing a live electric fence and learning that that's not a good idea. It was
Crisis management.
That's right, crisis management. It was so many lessons in life that I draw upon from today, and I count it among my many blessings that I had the opportunity to see that at such an early age.
Well, you know I'm crazy about your work ethic, so now that gives me a little bit of enlightenment about where it all comes from.
That's right.
Okay, I
Not
know
afraid
you,
of getting dirty.
I know you have a book that you like that talks a lot about instilling confidence.
Right.
Talk to me about how that confidence helps you and supports what you do for all of us in the community.
So one of the most important things that I've come to discover is that confidence is not something you either have or you don't. It just doesn't work that way. Confidence is a process. And I find that really relieving because it gives you hope that if you don't have it now, you can work your way to it in the future. And so I rely upon that whenever I'm learning or trying something new, to understand that if I'm not confident now, I can work my way through the process and get myself there. So confidence starts with making a commitment, right? Recognizing that you got to commit to something, and then quickly thereafter, there comes that oh crap moment. And that's when the next step of the process, courage, comes into play. So you start to develop courage. Courage leads to new capabilities, and eventually those lead to confidence. And so that knowing that it's a process helps give me the element that I need to try new things and chart new territory and follow the lead of people like you.
Well, thank you. I have to say, you mentioned a lot of C words. Well,
Yeah.
I've got another one for you. You have a special surprise today. You have also been chosen as the Phenom Community Champion Award winner for 2020. So
What does that mean?
That means you're doing great things for our community.
Awesome.
And so you're winning 2 awards today,
Wow.
not just one.
Wow.
And
Thank
I
you.
get the great pleasure of working with you on so many things around our community. I feel like we're at such a great place here in the Columbia area,
Yeah.
and I know you're a large part of it. And I just try to hang on and follow what you do and work right alongside you. I think it's awesome.
Listen, Lou, if I've learned this from anyone, I've learned it from you, that you have to lift as you climb. And you have done that for me, and you've allowed me to stand on your shoulders. And I am so grateful for the path that you have blazed for the rest of us.
Well, it's your turn now. Keep going.
I am enormously honored and privileged and really touched.
Well, great. Congratulations
Thank you.
one more time. We're so proud of you. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for just being you.
Thank you.
Anyway, community champion, Phenom
you.
Award winner 2020. Go, Megan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Matt Kennel, our next recipient of the Icon Award for this year. I'm so happy to call you my friend, and I'm also happy to say that you are a very deserving winner. Well, it would be remiss if I didn't say how nice it is to work with one of your children. We love having Emily at Nephron.
Loves
so
Nephron.
Have to get that out there. But I'm interested a little bit in your role with the City Center partnership. I know you're, the founding president and CEO, but as you walk down a revitalized Main Street, which, by the way, it looks so great on Main Street now, what's your biggest source of pride? What do you like the most?
Thank you, Lou. I like seeing people smile. I love the energy of Main Street. I love the bustling of the area. Just seeing people out enjoying being there. That's what I get the most pleasure out of.
Well, it certainly looks great. The landscaping, everything. You guys have done an amazing, amazing job. I can't get over from 10 years ago to now, the big change. Okay, now let me ask you this. I know this has been a difficult time for all of us. What was your really deepest worry during this pandemic for the businesses up and down Main Street?
Well, my deepest worry was a lot of closed doors and closed storefronts. And, people have put so much into their businesses and devoted so much of their lives to it. And that was a big worry. But, people are resilient and people are getting through this and doing okay.
Well, I know that we've had to adjust to wearing masks. You and I are 6 feet apart. So I guess you have to consider all those things, the social distancing and everything. It's Main Street USA and Main Street Columbia, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, now, let me ask you this. Everyone has seen those great yellow shirt ambassadors up and down Main Street. How did the community react when that program was first started, and how has that shaped, over the time that it's been in existence?
Well, Lou, it's really the bedrock of everything that we do. If people feel safe going downtown and secure, then they'll go downtown and they'll shop and they'll work there. At first, people weren't sure what they were. They weren't sure if they were police. I'm not sure the police knew what they were. But over an almost 20-year period, we built a really good relationship with the Columbia Police Department, with the city workers, and I think it's now part of the fabric of our city, and we're really proud of them, and they're just great people doing great things.
That's awesome. Now, could I ask if you have any grand plans that we might need to hear about for Main Street? Anything new coming that we need to know about?
Well, what I think is new, and we're getting there, is connections. The Main Street District is great. The Vista is great. North Main Street is great. 5 Points is great. But we need to connect. And I really think in the next 10 years or so, we're going to do more of that, and you'll see the whole city center grow and prosper. And that's really our vision, and even across the river, and that would be good too.
Well, I'd like to congratulate you once again on being the Icon Award winner here in 2020. We're very proud of you. I'm glad, as I said, to call you a friend, and congratulations. You're the best.
Thank you, Lou.
I'm joined by our next 2020 Phenom, Lindsay Miles, who is the Vice President of Operational Excellence at Nephron Pharmaceuticals. And Lindsay, I imagine this is a very interesting time to be working for Nephron, which manufactures sterile respiratory medication and I know is very busy in the fight against COVID-19. Can you just give us a snapshot of what your daily life is like these days?
We are extremely busy, which is a good thing. I'm very thankful to be in the healthcare industry at this time. And we are making hand sanitizer. We are actually doing COVID testing, so we've been able to stay safe and get our own employees tested as well as others. And we are ramping up production, so we not only make sterile respiratory medications, we also have a 503B outsourcing division that actually makes sterile prefilled syringes that can also be used during COVID for folks that are on ventilators. So we've stayed very busy during this crisis.
Well, it's great work that you do there. Now, you are obviously a marketing whiz and you do everything just about there, but you actually have a chemistry degree, which not a lot of people may know. How does that background help you do your job?
You know, it's interesting because when I decided to major in chemistry, and I've always liked healthcare, I always thought I'd go to med school or something like that. You know, manufacturing plant just did not seem like something I would want to do. And I actually interviewed with Lou Kennedy. So believe it or not, I came to Nephron, interviewed with Lou, had no idea who she was. And so I actually got my start at Nephron in the environmental role. So I did environmental regulations. She said, "What do you think of environmental?" And I thought, no idea what she's talking about, but I didn't say that. I said, "Sounds great. Let's go for it." So I started in environmental regulations and learned about wastewater. I actually became a licensed wastewater operator and did some chemistry testing and learned about all the permitting that you need to be a manufacturing plant, and it was very interesting. And I loved my role. And then Lou one day said, what do you think of coming and working up front on the business side of things and learning from me? And I thought that was the greatest opportunity that I could ever have. So I said, sounds great, let's do it. One thing I will say, having that chemistry background is great, but I've actually been challenged and I've learned a lot from Lou because I don't have the marketing background. So, trying to write things and press releases or even something to FDA has been challenging, but I've learned a lot. So I really enjoy it.
Lindsay, before we let you go, you have this lovely award, but we also felt like a few of our phenoms just needed a little extra recognition. So I want to tell you that you are also our 2020 Shining Star, which is very appropriate. So congratulations on that.
Wow, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you,
Very
Lindsay.
appropriately with all my shininess today.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you.
Congratulations, our own Lindsay Miles, for winning the 2020 Phenom Award here in the Midlands of South Carolina. We've always known you're a phenom, but we even want to consider you, even more than that, a true force of nature. I affectionately call you the boss around here, but we're so proud of you. Everybody at Nephron Farm is. And I guess the only way to fittingly reward you or send accolades your way is from one cheerleader to another. Go, Lindsay!
I'm so proud of you, Lindsay, and I can't wait to see what else you accomplish in Columbia. Congratulations.
Lindsay, you're not only a phenom, you're a rock star. We love working with you. I'm happy to be able to spend time in the office with you all day. I think we make a great team. You truly are a force of nature. Congratulations, and the best is yet to come.
Hey, Lindsay. Congratulations on winning the 2020 Phenoms Award. Your hard work, level of dedication, and get things done attitude proves that you deserve to win this award. We are very, very proud of you and love you.
Congratulations, Curtis Loftis. You're the winner of the 2020 Icon Award. I'm proud to know you as my friend, and I'm also very proud that you're receiving this honor.
Well, thank you very much.
It's a great thing. You are an icon. Everybody knows you. You are our awesome South Carolina State Treasurer. And I wanted to ask you a quick question. How does the charitable work you do with the Saluda Charitable Foundation influence your actions and decisions as our state banker?
That's insightful, Lou, because it really does. Most people don't think about that. I spent 10 years financing mission work, mainly medical mission work around the world. And I still do some of it. I just can't travel like I used to. So I know what a dollar means. I know that for $250, you can fix a cleft palate. And in places like Bolivia, Haiti, Ukraine, they call that the devil's mouth. They put a child into a home where he will live forever because of that. And it's only $250. So we finance a lot of the surgeries, obviously. And so when I see someone say, well, it's only $35 million, $2 million or whatever, I think instantly, how many cleft palates is that? How many surgical laboratories? We used to remodel surgical laboratories. So it means a lot to me.
Well, then that gives us some things in common because we like to donate our medications around the world, too, to help out in times like these that we are in. Another quick question. What accomplishment or program are you most proud of achieving as your time as our treasurer?
Well, we've had a quiet revolution at the Treasurer's Office. You know, I from time to time we'll get embroiled in something that's a little bit messy, a little public. But that has served me well because I have a great staff. I mean, we have a great staff. When I came to office, we had older staff, good people, but older. And we've turned over about 95% of them, mainly through retirements. But the staff we have now is without a doubt the best in the country. I hear that from the big banks all the time. Big banks work with all of us. And they, without a doubt, we made over $400 million in the excess cash of the state last year. And that's with these extraordinarily low interest rates.
Well, that's great news to hear. Great for South Carolinians. Well, again, we want to tell you congratulations on winning this Icon Award. Very deserving. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say I love some of your family members that work with us at the company. And again, thank you for your service. Thank you for all that you do. Congratulations very much. You're our 2020 Icon Award winner.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor.
Our next winner, Josh Bennett, Phenom winner, member and attorney at Rogers Townsend. Congratulations and thanks for coming.
Thanks very much.
So tell us something interesting or what you like about your job at the law firm.
Well, being a lawyer, I think the thing I love the most is just interacting with the clients and getting to know the clients. So I'm a defense lawyer, and so when clients come to me, they've been sued, and it's a very stressful situation for them. Maybe one of the most stressful situations in their life, and they're confused. They don't know what to do next, and so the fact that I'm able to kind of take that burden off them and put it on me, and for them to know that the situation is going to be handled, is probably one of the best feelings of the job.
You cite as your favorite quote the words of preacher Charles Swindoll. The difference between something good and something great is attention to detail. Is that something that you have in your life and in your law practice, is that attention to detail?
Oh, yeah. Attention to detail is probably putting it lightly, especially if you ask my wife. I think as a lawyer, you've got to be detail-oriented. And I'm very type A, and so that transfers to not only my law practice, but my everyday life. Attention to detail is where it's at.
I'd like to thank Josh for coming in and being a winner for the 2020 Phenom category.
Our next recipient of the Icon Award for this year is Reggie Corley. Congratulations.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you very much.
And I'm happy to be sharing the stage with you because we're both from Lexington County.
Both good Wildcats.
That's right. That's right. Finished the same high school. And in fact, sadly enough, that was new my 10th grade year. Not so new anymore.
That's right.
Anyway, let's talk a little bit about you and winning this award. Could you tell me, you chose to practice law. What's the most rewarding thing about that?
The most rewarding thing is being able to help people, do some real estate closings and do a lot of court appearances, and being able to help my clients, being able to help people and just have that interaction. It's just very rewarding.
We picked a great field. That's a very fast-growing county, so I'm sure you're very, very busy.
We just opened a little small Lexington office here right before the pandemic, and glad to have a presence not only in Columbia but in Lexington as well.
That's fantastic. Well, I thought it was super cool to learn that you were a percussionist. Tell me about playing the drums.
That's right. I started my, musical career at Lexington High School, and then majored in it in college. I was a double major in music and also political science, and I always said if I'd just majored in music, I would have probably been summa cum laude and done better than having that second degree as well. But and then went on, and when I finished law school, had an opportunity to play in a couple of the ensembles here in Columbia, the Lake Murray Symphony Orchestra and also Palmetto Concert Band, and just absolutely love it. It's very rewarding, and took a break after we had our second child, which ironically, second child, my daughter turns 11 next week, so I've taken about 11-year break, and life comes in various stages, so maybe I can start back here again when I enter that next stage.
So I guess then you played with my classmate, Dr. Gatch.
Which one? Is it Jerry or Mike?
Yes.
Yes, I played with, he was in Palmetto Concert Band. It's actually the choir director at our church.
Cool. Well, we are so happy that you stood out in your field and you were selected for this awesome award. You are truly an icon, and at such a young age, thank you for everything you do for not only Lexington, but Columbia and the Midlands in general. We are very proud of you, and I look forward to seeing all the things that your future has to offer.
Thank you very much, Lou, and enjoyed my time here today.
Great.
Thank you.
Up next, Gene Cecil Frick, Senior Strategic Advisor with NP Strategy, 2020 Phenom winner. Congratulations. Thanks for coming in. So you spent some time at the White House, and tell us, what are the most obvious ways that the time at the White House has affected your job, and what maybe are some of the subtleties or the least obvious things that time at the White House might be affecting your job?
Yes. Well, I feel very honored to have had the opportunity to serve President Bush in the White House from 2006 to 2009. And it was really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And it taught me at a very young age diligence, integrity, honesty, the power of a team. And it taught me hard work. You know, my days were long, but it was worth it every day because I knew that I was serving my country and that the team I was working with was fully dedicated to serving our country. And so I would just say that, you know, how it affects me today, it definitely has shaped the person I am, the way I approach professionalism. You know, when you're working at the White House, you know that anything you say or do could end up on the front page of the newspaper. And so I am always mindful of the fact that even though we all have personal lives, we have professional lives too. And what you do in your personal life can be a reflection of that. And so the White House taught me at a very early age to stay out of the front pages.
Yeah, and I would agree. Working at the White House is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Not everybody can say that, so that's very cool.
Thank you.
You mentioned your late mom's influence, and what part of your career do you think she would be most proud of?
Well, thank you for asking that question. I would say that the White House was a dream. I was the little girl who always wanted to read the front pages of the newspaper, even though I didn't want to be on them. And I always had my nose in a book. And so the White House was a lofty goal that I was able to achieve. So I think she would have been proud of the fact that I followed my passions from that extent. But then I think she'd probably, hopefully, be most proud of the person that I am in the office. I try to be a mentor and a leader within my office with my peers, and to do right by my clients. That my word is my honor. And so I hope that in every experience I've had, she's proud of the person that she raised.
That's great. Jean Cecil, thanks for coming in. 2020 Phenom Award winner. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Hey, Jean Cecil, we are so proud of you over here at NP Strategy.
Congrats on being named the 2020 Phenom.
Congratulations for being awesome.
Congrats on having great taste.
When I stop to think about some of the most prevalent icons out there, you're tops.
We love you, JC.
Just to make you feel more comfortable, I'm sitting here with pictures of old Republicans. There's Mike Castle, Bill Roth. Bye.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to take a quick break from the video interviews that we were doing, and I wanted to honor two people who unfortunately couldn't be with us today. We have one icon and one phenom who just couldn't work it into their schedule today to do the video interviews, but we haven't forgotten them. I got two of them to talk about. The first is icon Jim Hudson. He is the owner of Jim Hudson Automotive Group. Jim is a well-known Midlands entrepreneur who turned a single Oldsmobile franchise acquired in 1980 into a portfolio of dealerships with 7 locations in South Carolina and Georgia. The South Carolina National Guard recently created the Jim Hudson Leadership Academy, which trains retiring military personnel for a second career in the private business sector. Congratulations to icon Jim Hudson. Up next is phenom Graham Moore. Graham Moore's job is connecting people. He is a master at bringing people together, whether that means finding the perfect home to cap a housing search or uniting the community in a worthy cause. Graham is the owner of the Divine Street real estate management and brokerage firm, The Moore Company. Graham oversaw the Flip and Give initiative, which brought area businesses together to transform a neighborhood bungalow into a showpiece. Net proceeds from the sale of the house were donated to area charities, making it clear why Moore is also the 2020 recipient of the Team Builder Award. Congratulations to phenom Graham Moore. Okay, that's it. Jim, Graham, we're sorry that you couldn't be here today with us, but we did not forget you. Glad you were an honoree, and it was our pleasure to honor you today. Let's get back to the interviews.
I'm very, very proud to announce that the winner of Icon Award for 2020 is Julie Ann Avon. And she happens to be the president and executive director of the Mental Illness Recovery Center, or as we know that affectionately here in this area as Mercy. And so we're going to be talking today to her about this award and a few other topics. So let's just get started. And by the way, congratulations. You're very deserving. Okay, you're clearly quite passionate about community service. How did you come to focus on the problem of homelessness here in the Midlands?
When I first came to Mercy, it was simply known as the Friendship Center and was a day program. But we were having folks come into our day program bringing their belongings and hiding them under the stairwell because they had nowhere to sleep at night. So with a very progressive board of directors, we decided that we would not only address their mental illness, but also a safe, decent place to call home.
It's so needed. And as we've seen in the news, especially during this pandemic, it seems that there's been a focus and a spotlight on various communities around the country. And I feel like we have a really good handle on that. And thank you for the role that Mercy plays in that. It seems as if we don't see the tent cities and other things that we might see in some of the other bigger cities in America. So thank you for all that you guys have done to really get a handle on this very important issue here in Columbia. Now, I understand that you love classical piano and Tolkien. And now I'd like to know, who are your very favorite musicians and what are your favorite pieces to play?
I think probably my favorite composer would be Bach.
Okay.
And then I guess when you say favorite musician, I would have to talk about current day, and that would be Eric Clapton. My child's even named for him.
Oh, my goodness. I love Eric Clapton. So when I was younger and taking piano, and I'm in no way a great pianist, but I like Rachmaninoff. I always liked the beat in those pieces. But anyway, I want to say that that's pretty cool that you like Eric Clapton. I mean, he's a classic for sure. Okay, now, what drew you to the Tolkien books?
It was actually a professor that had us first read The Hobbit, the classic Hobbit, and then just I really liked it's almost like an escapism when you're reading that kind of fantasy.
Okay, now, I think this is an important platform since we have you here today. Tell us what we should be doing to support Mercy and what you're trying to do in the community. What can we do to help as business owners and members of the community to help your efforts over at Mercy?
I think the broader arching issue that would help Mercy as well as other providers is we have a lack of affordable housing, and we need more and better paying jobs.
Well, that I can help you with. We have we're hiring probably about 80 new people every couple of weeks, and we do have good paying jobs. So call Nephron. My daughter's a recruiter. She'll appreciate that.
Okay. And just really, the affordable housing, and some of it with affordable housing, especially for individuals that are experiencing homelessness, and folks with disabilities, it's going to need to be subsidized housing. So we need developers that will do that, and we need for our cities and counties to pass inclusive zoning laws so that big developers have to make 10% of their units accessible.
So for those of the you that are watching this award ceremony and very deserving recipients, this is an area we can all come together and help and talk to your elected officials about the zoning issues, and let's see if we can't drum up some support for what you're trying to do in the community. And I, for one, offer to help with the hiring side of that, and I'm sure my colleagues and friends will as well. Again, thank you for all that you do. Congratulations on this awesome award. You're very deserving, and I'm glad to make your acquaintance, Julianne, and good luck in the future efforts around the Midlands. We appreciate it. Congratulations.
Sure. I am Tom Keith, and I am president of the Sisters of Charity Foundation of South Carolina.
I'm going to get right into the personal stuff with why poverty? What drew you to this position that you've spent and dedicated your life really to helping people in our state?
Well, it started, I think, when I was a little boy back in West Virginia. Lived in a rural community, a farming community, and you know, we didn't see it that way as class structure there. It's kind of like we all lived together. But I witnessed a lot of people struggling, and that really resonated with me. And when I had the opportunity to move into the nonprofit sector and philanthropy, I felt like that was my calling and my gift to do good work in the community.
For those few people out there that might not know who you are or what you do, just give a brief description over what is your role with the Sisters of Charity Foundation? What do you do?
Well, we're about a $100 million foundation, and we started back in 1995 out of the sale of Providence, and so we've granted $75 million, and so I oversee that operation. We have a phenomenal staff, a fantastic board of trustees, and I kind of lead that whole process on a daily basis, both from an operational and programmatic side, but we've got great people that are in the trenches really working with these grantees.
And I know y'all are very humble, but if you will, just share, are there a couple of moments that have been some of your proudest moments, or an organization that you've helped along the way, or a personal story that has really touched your heart?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's tons, but that you'll never forget?
Yeah, probably 20 years ago, I went down to a little town called Ravenel, South Carolina, and there was a lady, the mayor had called me, and I went to visit this lady who lived in a double-wide trailer behind the fireworks store. That was the direction. So I walk up, and this little lady opens the door and invites me in, and I see a child in a wheelchair, and I see another child in a hospital bed, and I see all these kids, probably 6, that were under her care. And I was confused because I didn't really know when I walked in what that was all about. So I said, tell me what you do. And she says, I adopt and foster kids that are terminally ill. And so this little boy over here has, you know, a brain tumor, terminal brain. This little girl has muscular dystrophy, cerebral palsy, and whatever. And then she took me into her living room, and she had behind her couch this wall of photos. There were probably 35 or 40 different children. And she said, well, I had Jimmy here for 7 months, and he died of cancer. Or I had Mary here for 12 months, and she died of, leukemia. And so I said, well, Mrs. Bing was her name. I said, why do you do this? What is this? She goes, oh, this is not hard for me. This is my gift, because I'm the person that loves them before I hand them off to God. That's my job. And so they'll never feel abandoned or feeling unimportant or feel like they have no one. They have me, and I'm their hand and their heart to get them to the next world.
Does that perspective come into play a lot in your life when you tackle some hurdles? You
know, I think what I realized is that there are some really genuine angels out there in little places behind the fireworks store. And, you know, that's happening all over the state. It's probably happening all over the United States. But I was touched by her authenticity, and I was touched by what she viewed as no big deal, because that was her calling, and that was what she was supposed to do.
Some advice that you would give to young folks starting out in the world, because you are a phenom.
Or an icon. I'm not young enough to be a phenom, but the advice for starting out, I think, as you work in the world, is to, take the mirror and turn it off of yourself, which we all have a tendency to do, and turn it onto the world, and find places that you can help others in little ways. Sometimes it's not always the big flashy thing, but it can be opening the door for somebody, or it can be my mother was very good at writing notes. When somebody was sick or had something, she had these postcards and she would write hundreds of them every year, just letting people know she was thinking about them. And you never know what a small act of kindness can do for somebody else. You know, it can have a huge effect on your life and on their life. So my advice is to find ways to help others. It'll be satisfying to you as a person as much as it is to somebody else.
You were a local broadcaster back in your high school days.
Yeah, I was.
Tell us a little bit about what you did, and did you learn any lessons back then with that budding career that went in?
You know, I started when I was 13 at a little small 1,000 watt radio station in Spencer, West Virginia, and I started working on Sundays, and you know, that was kind of the minister's day where they would bring people in and ministers would preach live, and then I transitioned to other positions at the station during high school. Really enjoyed sports broadcasting and did some other things, but I think I learned to pronounce words better than I ever had, and I learned timing, and I learned that how important quality is, you know, in whatever you do. You know, you could just do it, you know, just to get by, but I took it seriously about how I wanted the sound to be, whether it was a record or a newscast or sportscast or whatever. And so I think that sort of helped me develop my work style over the years.
And tell us about that. I mean, I have to tell you, I became acquainted with your bio more when I was researching this.
Yeah.
You have an MBA.
Yeah.
And and just knowing you personally, you could go anywhere, but why Sisters of Charity? And again, you've had longevity here.
Right.
Why have you devoted your life and your work to this?
Well, I think, I am kind of a dinosaur, you know, in a way, of having worked with the sisters for 27 years. That is unique. And I could have gone other places. I've had other opportunities, but I always felt a loyalty and a commitment to this mission here in South Carolina and what they are doing and what they've allowed me to be part of. And so I've seen it grow and build too over time, you know, serving more people, helping more communities, starting more projects and programs to really create change. And to me, that's what it's all about. It's not about just giving out money. It's about changing lives of families and communities and individuals all over the state in a positive way. And I feel like we've done that. So I think I've stayed probably more for the satisfaction and loyalty of being part of the sisters' mission to serve others.
And about the community, a lot of folks probably don't realize how many different things you've been involved in. Most recently, being named board chair of Columbia College.
Right.
Tell me about, you're a busy guy. You're busy in your job, and then you have all these other things. Tell us about some of those other things and why you want to be so involved in all these different aspects of the community.
I think work is really important to me, and an important part of my life. I think I got from my father a very strong work ethic. You know, he would work all hours of the day and into the evening and on the weekends, and you know, that I think he got a lot of pleasure out of that. I think we all have a responsibility to give back to our communities that we live in and participate in. I think it's a give and take, and that's why I serve on the Columbia Free Medical Clinic board. That's why I'm involved with Healthy Learners and the Center for Fathers and Families, and of course Columbia College.
You're right. JC is our phenom. You are our icon. And you know, and outside of, I hate the ring of it because you are no dinosaur. But when you discovered that you had achieved this level of recognition in our community and our state, what does it mean to you?
Well, first I was trying to find the person that did this so I could, you know, scold them for making, you know, because I think recognition is a nice thing. It's a great thing. It's not something that really, I don't know, it kind of makes me uncomfortable. But to be recognized for this in a way is validation of the work that I've been part of as a leader for the sisters and hopefully a leader in the community. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to that, and none of this would have happened had it not been for a lot of other people, the sisters, my staff, our board of trustees, and other great people in the community that I've learned from that came before me.
And let's end with the quote. You had written in a questionnaire a quote that someone came back to you and said, "Where did you get this?"
Yeah.
But
yeah, the quote was sort of out of observation from my grandfather and discussions, and I kind of paraphrased it. But you know, it doesn't cost one single penny, one single cent every day to be kind to other people. And you need to be kind to everyone, not just kind to people that can help you, but kind to the waiters and the waitresses in the restaurant and the janitors in the buildings and the people that are mowing lawns and the people that are on the street, the homeless and others. Be kind to everyone, because you never know the kind of impact that will have on them, and it will be, as I said earlier, satisfying for you and satisfying for them. So I think his point was it's an inexpensive way to really make a difference.
before we wrap up, is there anything I'm missing?
I'm going to take caller number 5 at 5910671, and your chance to win. 21 minutes till 10 o'clock.
You still got it. You still got it.
Our next winner, Nick Annan, Senior Manager and Team Leader at Elliott Davis. Congratulations on winning the Phenom Award this year in 2020. Mm-hmm. So one might not think of an accountant as a trumpeter, clearly. How do both of those areas of your life influence each other?
Gosh. Yeah, I like to think of myself as kind of an unconventional accountant, someone who, you know, when you meet me and talk to me and find out about what I do in my interests, that you wouldn't put that profession with me necessarily. But with the trumpet playing and just music in general, I think, you know, that really unlocks the creative side of your mind and really helps, you know, kind of the logical and the creative work together. And, you know, what I do and why I think I'm successful in my career is because I can make relationships with people and become a trusted advisor to them. And I think what I do as a musician really kind of facilitates that personality and that connection.
And how long have you been trumpeting?
Oh, gosh. I think I've been trumpeting for almost 25 years.
Wow. Nicely done. Extensive volunteer work. Tell me about that and what you're doing with the community.
Yeah, so going back to trumpet playing, music and arts education are really important to me. I think that's something that we cannot afford to not have in our society. That it's just such a powerful developmental tool for our students, and something that we really need to put our dollars behind, both just as individual philanthropists, you know, and our you know, kind of public funding dollars. So, you know, one of the things I did is we've got the South Carolina Philharmonic here in Columbia, which is a great organization. We have so many wonderful resources with the university right next door, so many wonderful musicians there. And they do a lot, you know, yes, they put on some wonderful concerts every year, but they also have some amazing educational programs. So one of my first forays as a young professional in Columbia was to help start the Young Professionals Organization at the Philharmonic. And so trying to really create that next generation of concert goers, but also philanthropists for that organization and to keep their programming going.
That's great. Mm-hmm. I want to thank Nick for coming in. 2020 Phenom winner this year. Congratulations again. Congratulations to Rachel Popkowski, Vice President and co-owner of Livingston Insurance Agency. So Rachel, tell us some of the unaddressed insurance needs you find people have, whether they know it or not.
Absolutely. I think that people listen to commercials and they think that auto insurance and home insurance are just so simple. And insurance, in fact, is quite a complex topic. And I think what's really important is that you sit down with someone who is in the insurance field and really get a sense of what your needs are. Talking to them, telling them about what keeps you up at night. We talk to our customers about sleep at night insurance, and that may not be your auto insurance. That may be a professional liability policy to cover what you're doing every day in your job. So it's really sitting down and understanding your core concerns and looking at that risk, and then figuring out if you want to transfer that risk into an insurance coverage. I think it's just, and your needs continually change, and it's really important to sit down and just talk with somebody.
So you've been to 20 states and all over the world.
Yeah.
So tell me about some of your travels and the most memorable places that you've been to.
Absolutely. So travel started out very young. My grandparents, who were instrumental in my life for many more reasons than travel, but Bob and Ray Livingston, they started all of their grandchildren out traveling. Our big first trip was fourth grade. They took us to Washington, D.C., and we got to visit the Capitol and the White House. And I mean, that really started my love of travel. And only from there did it go across the country, across the world. Another memorable trip was right after high school. I went with some of my cousins and some dear friends of mine, and we traveled Europe for 3 weeks. We started in London. We ended up in Germany. It was just an amazing trip. I think we hit 10 countries while we were gone. So, really doesn't matter. America is absolutely gorgeous. My husband is from Arizona, and he introduced me to the West Coast. So we've made many trips out to California, which is just so different than South Carolina. The terrain, the people, it's fantastic. So we're trying to instill that same love of travel into our 3 kids. So we still are traveling today.
I'd like to thank Rachel for being a winner this year and for coming in. Thanks.
I think the biggest changes I've seen in the construction industry and working world in the last 27 years, number one, technology. Technology has changed the way we operate on a daily basis. When I first went into business for myself, I was 27 years old. And what we had to do was use a book, probably the size of a phone book, times 2, just to get estimates to put our prices together. Today, it's all done on a computer and can be done in seconds. Back then, we had to type a proposal, mail it, or drive it over to the customer, and then wait to get it back signed. Today, it can be emailed, signed, and sent back in a matter of minutes. I think the other thing that's changed in the working place, which has been good, is one of the things we did at Cone was I think we had one of the first female project managers in the area. And when we did it at first, people thought, what were we doing? But I always thought that was the way to go. Today, we have females in our office, probably almost as many as we have men. And it's wonderful to work together.
That does it. 13 icons, 13 phenoms, one great virtual event. On behalf of the Columbia Regional Business Report, I'd like to thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. Thanks to Luke Kennedy, Nephron Pharmaceuticals, the DoubleTree by Hilton Columbia, and Clark Company Benefits for partnering with us today. Our next event here in the Midlands will be our annual Women of Influence Award Show. That event is scheduled to air on September 16th, so be on the lookout for all the details. Thank you. Appreciate you joining us. Stay safe, Columbia.
Thank you.